Yo, what's up, everybody? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome once again to the best place in the world, 6 p.m. on a Sunday. Whoo! I guess it's time for me to kill the music. I think I'm going to just kill the music. Let's kill the music. Let's get that music down. I hope everybody can hear me. I hope everything's good. What's happening, everybody? Once again, it's your boy Onyx recording the podcast Going Full Nerd, aka Onyx Uncensored. This is the live stuff. This is what you get when you tune in on YouTube 6 p.m. on a Sunday. You catch me when I go ahead and I record the audio podcast, which you can find on youtube.com/goingfullnerd, or you can find it on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio. You can even find it on Pandora, but you can also find it on this home, anchor.fm/goingfullnerd. The title for this week's show is And Now for Something Different. And when I was looking for a title this week, I said, you know what? I didn't watch any new movies. I didn't watch any new shows to review. Nothing that stood out that I was going to go ahead and drop. So I said I would do my Super Bowl picks. But I got to address a topic in the beginning before I get into my normal top 5 domestic box office, before I get into the meat of the show and all that good stuff. But here goes the deal. Today, while sitting playing video games, heard the tragic news about Kobe Bryant and his daughter. Headed off to a basketball game. That's the reports. He was in his private helicopter. It crashed. No one survived. That is just tragic. I feel so much for his wife and anybody related, his family. You think about Shaq, the time, it's crazy. It's crazy. But it brings me to a point, because I'm not going to discuss it because it is not my place. But what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to say this to everybody, and it's just something that I got to get off my chest. Every day is not promised. That's why you got to have fun with it. You got to enjoy life. Don't sit back and get stuck on being depressed with things being bad, not going the way you want, because you know what? You're not promised tomorrow. Every morning you wake up is a joy, is happiness to you or someone else. So take that moment and go with it and enjoy every second. That's all I got to say to that subject. But guess what? We're going to get to the regular stuff. We're going to get to the good stuff. We're going to get to the stuff that hopefully brings you joy from Going Full Nerd. And that is, as always, we do the top 5 box office every weekend. So coming in at number 1 this week, coming in at 1 was last week's number 1, Bad Boy for Life, the Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, buddy cop comedy we waited, 17 years for? Yes, came in at number 1, pulling $34 million this week. Awesome, great. We knew it was going to do it because nothing really dropped. And nothing was going to compete. It is what it is. So, that's how that goes. Coming in at number 2 is the World War I drama, 1917. It was last week's number 2, no change there, pulling in $15.8 million. Coming in at number 3, if you didn't get enough of Robert Downey Jr. in the Iron Man and the Avengers films, go check out Doolittle, where he talks to animals. I heard this wasn't doing too good, but it came in number 3 for 2 weeks in a row, pulling in $12.5 million. Coming in at number 4 is a brand new flick for the week called The Gentleman. Yes, it's The Gentleman, pulling in 11 mil. And coming in at number 5 is last week's number 4, the buddy movie, as I like to call it, with The Rock and with Kevin Hart. Hey, that comes in at number 5, last week's number 4, and that's Jumanji, The Next Level, pulling $7.9 million. So let's talk, everybody. I used to do a lot of sports stuff. When I started, on YouTube, I used to do a lot of sports stuff. I used to talk about I used to give my picks every week during the NFL season. Then we had a little thing like Colin Kaepernick taking the knee, the NFL banning him, even though they say they didn't, it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. But I still like watching football. I still doing my thing, even though they got some questionable things. So I will at least make my picks for the Super Bowl. Yes, for the Super Bowl. As you can see, the Lombardi Trophy. I've got my own. Let me go ahead and get. I got my hand around my Lombardi Trophy. You like that? That's special effects on a budget, right? All right. So check this out, folks. This is the thing. We got the Chiefs versus the 49ers. This has got to be one of the Super Bowls as far as wanting. I mean, the Chiefs haven't been in the Super Bowl in what, darn near 50 years. So I kind of I'm okay with them getting there. That's nice. Patrick Mahomes, he's a monster. He sounds like Kermit the Frog. I mean, it is what it is. We was expecting them to go last year. They didn't, but they made it this year. That's cool. I'm actually kind of heartbroken that my man from Baltimore, Jackson, he didn't make it. But it is what it is. I mean, he got some time to grow. The team needs a little bit more. It is what it is. As you can tell, I'm going to go ahead and say this. And we're going to get things right. And I'm going to give you my pick so you could place your bets. I'm not endorsing gambling, but I know a lot of you are going to do it. Okay, you're going to get to your Super Bowl parties. You're going to get to your Super Bowl events. And what you're going to go ahead and do is y'all going to start betting on little things. Oh, who's going to do this? What's going to happen here? What's going to happen? Me, I'm going to sit at home with some homemade hot wings, some french fries. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get me some more of my adult beverage. And I'm going to sip and I'm going to watch the game. And I'm going to pay attention to the commercials because my team's not in it. Let me throw it out there. My team's not in it. And for anybody that watches the channel, you know who my team is. Our quarterback just announced retirement this week. Eli Manning quit after 16 years, or shall I say retired. It's all good. I mean, hey, you can't play football forever. You get a few hits, and he took a lot of hits during his career. But let's get back to it, okay? I'm still deciding whether or not I'm going to broadcast during the Super Bowl. I may do it just to give a live talk about the commercials. I may do it. I may just have this on, and while I'm watching the game on my big screen TV, I may be sitting here eating a wing, drinking a adult beverage, and I might be sitting here saying, you know what? Oh, I might be talking about the commercials as we go along, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and do that. It's cool. All right. So let's talk Super Bowl. Okay. I'm waiting on the commercials. Got no interest in the game in the long run. It is what it is. But let's give it. I'm going to give you my first prediction for the Super Bowl. If you're ready for my first, get your pen and paper out, folks, because I'm not posting this in the links in the video or on the podcast. You need to rewind, listen, and write this stuff down. Because if you get paid off of my bets, off of my picks, I expect you to donate to the podcast at anchor.fm/goingfullnerd/support. Hook a brother up. So let's go, and I'm gonna get you right. First of all, the score for the game, the final score will be 35-28. Write that down. The final score of the game will be 35-28. Just telling you now, that's what it's going to be. Who is going to win the coin toss? I'm going to tell you right now. Write this down because I'm not going to repeat it at the end. Y'all got to work with me here. Kansas City will win the coin toss. All right? Let you know. And the coin toss will come up tails. Take that to the bank, folks. Take that to the bank. All right? Who will be the first team to score? Is it going to be Kansas City or is it going to be San Francisco? Who is it? Well, San Francisco will score first. They will draw first blood. All right. Which quarterback is going to get sacked first? Is it going to be Garoppolo or is it going to be Mahomes? Hmm. This was a hard thought. This was something I don't know. Hard picking, but it's going to be Garoppolo is going to get sacked first in the game. All right. How will the first touchdown in the game happen? Will it be a running play or will it be a passing play? Ooh, y'all waiting to hear this? NFL has become a passing league. So the very first touchdown in this Super Bowl will be a passing touchdown. All right. I'm not going to tell you who I think is going to win yet. I'm not going to tell you that yet. But what I am going to tell you is the winning coach. The winning coach will have orange colored Gatorade poured all over his body. That's how that's going to roll. That's how that's going to roll. Okay. Now, here is the most important. It's only going to do 4 quarters. There's not going to be any overtime. And the winner of, okay, the Super Bowl this year will be. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this? The Kansas City Chiefs. They will be your Super Bowl champs, breaking that 50-year drought. Andy Reid will get his first ring as a head coach. He will get his last ring as a head coach. Just putting it there. So, if you agree or disagree, just go later on. Send me a message on Twitter if you agree or disagree with my picks, and we'll see. We'll see next week because I'm going to be checking and I'm going to be following each and every one of y'all. I'm going to be looking at everybody and I want to see some videos. I want to see some comments talking about, I won so much money because I listened to Onyx's picks. That dude is like Karnak the Magnificent. He can predict all sorts of stuff, except he can't pick his own lottery numbers. That's the way it's going to be, folks. It is what it is, and it's going to happen. Just putting that out there. All right, but let's get back to, because the channel is called Going Full Nerd. And because we're doing something completely different, I'm going to talk about something that I like, man. And I've been noticing this, and I hope everybody else has noticed this too. You know, I've been looking at a lot of things, and I look at all these remakes coming out. I look at the movies, I look at the television shows, I see all the superheroes, I see all this stuff, and I like to say, you know what? I'm an '80s kid. I grew up in the '80s. All right, I can embrace and claim that I was an '80s kid, and as an '80s kid, we had something that really doesn't show up on television nowadays. We had giant freaking robots, man. Think about this, okay? Think about this. I want you to think about this. We had some of the greatest giant robot cartoons back in the '80s. We had Voltron. We had Transformers. We had the Gundam. We had the Shogun Warriors in comic books. We had all sorts. We had all these different giant robots. What do they have nowadays? I don't count Power Rangers as giant robots. You know, it doesn't work for me like that. And see, we had such great giant robots. I mean, obviously Voltron was the greatest of them all with the five lines. That was the greatest Voltron ever. Then they had the Voltron with like 8 million space vehicles. That was all banging. Then you had these space dramas with these giant ships. You had the Gundam with the like F-15 fighters transforming into these things. Then you had the Transformers, the most heartbreaking energetic song when Optimus Prime was gone and Rodimus Prime took over. You know, these were the 80s was so cool when it came to giant robot cartoons. And we've lost that. Where is our mentality when it comes to doing things futuristically? I mean, in all honesty, let's take a look at it. I mean, art imitates life. I mean, if you watch the news, you see the new United States Space Force logo looks exactly like the Starfleet Command logo. You got all sorts of cool stuff happening because 80s kids are in charge of certain things. But we can't get a good giant robot anything. Yeah, we had Pacific Rim. We had that. That was cool. The first one was good. The second one was mediocre at best. But I mean, we got the technology and special effects to do this stuff banging now. Yet we don't. We don't. Your boy's tripping. Your boy's tripping. So here goes my thing. When you were growing up, and this is a question, I'd love to get some responses on the recorded on anchor.fm or in the comment section of the video on YouTube. And here goes my line. What cartoons do you miss? I mean, I miss a lot of the 80s stuff, and don't get it wrong, the stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s was banging too. I may have been a grown ass man at that point, but those were kind of banging too. So there's a lot of things. I mean, I was a big Ed, Ed and Eddie. I was a big Kids Next Door person. You know, let's keep it real. Courage the Cowardly Dog was part of my mess, but that's all right. But that's all right. But we lost out on the giant robots. Now I think that stuff's coming back because we got the Godzilla movies. We got Godzilla versus King Kong coming. You know, so maybe we can get back to that. I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. That's how things grow. People, it is what it is. But anyway, folks, I'm going to cut this short. This is going to be one of those small live broadcasts because I want to get back to kind of relaxing, getting ready for this long work week. And if you haven't noticed, I am doing some coffee time with your favorite nerd where I talk about stuff not related to movies or entertainment. I just kind of express my random thoughts, and you may get that here and there. I just published one the other day. You can peep it. Talked about the Watchmen being canceled. Yeah, I kept it entertainment wise, but it was just random thoughts for me. But anyway, folks, I'm going to cut it short this week. Got you at about maybe about 18 minutes of hanging out with your boy. So just remember, YouTube's most ignored, but you guys could bubble me up to the top. Remember to like, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit it with the thumbs up, hit the subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Also, make sure you check me out where your favorite podcasts are heard. And if it's not where your favorite podcasts are heard, let me know so I can reach out and get them there. All right, everybody. I'm pretty much done for the day. So remember, if you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. Send me a note. I'll say it for you. Peace, y'all, and I'm out of here. Let's hit that outro music.